Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this dialogue. The month of October is a National Cybersecurity Awareness Raising Month, putting the spotlight on the vitality of digital safety. As Ethiopia is advancing its cybersecurity agenda, protecting mega projects such as the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is more urgent than ever before. So in today's episode, we're going to be delving into a host of issues that Ethiopia is going through, such as misinformation and disinformation, as well as how this East African nation is coping with these challenges and the way forward. And to put it all into perspective, I'm so honored to be joined by Dr. Leul Temesgen, cybersecurity and international affairs consultant with extensive experience across Europe and Africa. He served as head of compliance at a Dutch-Israeli technology company, leading SOC2 implementation, compliance automation, and risk management while based in Germany. I'm your host, Shifara Lago. Do stay with us. Dr. Leul, thank you so much for coming to our studio.
Thank you for having me.
So, as I said in my intro, this month of October is a National Cybersecurity Awareness Raising Month, which is putting the spotlight on the vitality of protecting cybersecurity and, of course, digital safety in Ethiopia. Could you walk me through some of the major objectives?
Yeah, basically, this Awareness Month is about bringing people together from the government side, private companies, but also the citizens, normal citizens' families, because cybersecurity actually affects every one of us through the whole society. So this is a place to make the people aware, or an event to make the people aware that cybersecurity is a daily business. As soon as you use technology, you need to take care about your password, that you regularly change your password, for example. So this is an issue which brings awareness for the whole society. And actually, I think this is a quite good thing to make it on a yearly basis, annually, every year in October. And basically, it's about making the whole society aware about cybersecurity, and this is even in Germany. I didn't recognize this kind of awareness. So I think this is a crucial issue for the whole society, and that's why I think they will continue it every year. No? But of course, it's not enough to be aware only 1 month. You should continue. Yeah. The whole issue should be also to continue beyond this 1 month, this awareness for every one of us. Of course, it's also an issue for the critical infrastructure of Ethiopia. But as I said already, also for the usual citizen, or for the ordinary citizen who uses, for example, his smartphone to make his banking business. If you're not aware how to use your passwords, or maybe somebody can get into your bank account, because technology is good, but it has also its risks. Exactly. And so we are all affected by that.
Interesting. Let's also talk about its effectiveness. So how effective has the month been in promoting public-private partnership, specifically for long-term cybersecurity resilience?
Actually, it's very useful because it brings people together. Yeah, government offices, also universities. We have also businesses, private businesses. All of us focus on one goal. This is to keep our online activities safe. Yeah. So, but as I said already, it's only a starting point this month. If we don't continue to be aware beyond this month, it's not a finish. It's not a finish line. It's not a finish point. It's a starting point to continue this awareness. So, if we continue with this awareness beyond this month, it's very effective.
Exactly, exactly. How is this East African nation advancing its national cybersecurity agenda, and how is it gaining some kind of acceptance among the population and, of course, beyond?
As I observed, this Ethiopia made big improvements the last years in terms of cybersecurity and also policy creating of policies. We have the Information Network Security Administration, who somehow is enforcing this whole issue of cybersecurity, especially in terms of critical infrastructure like banking. Yeah, and so I think Ethiopia has a good stance on the issue of cybersecurity because the state or the government had put a big value on that. So I think in compared to other African nations, we are on a good way in regards to that.
What are the key challenges and also the key opportunities in Ethiopia's transition toward a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy?
I think the main issue is, of course, that we have not enough trained experts in this field. But this is not only an Ethiopian issue. We have the same issue also in Europe, in America, where there's a lack of specialists in the field of cybersecurity. And also probably another challenge is old technologies that are still used in the Ethiopian IT ecosystem, and this is also an issue. And as a third crucial challenge, I would say limited budgets of money that we have not enough invested probably. It could be more, but this is also a global issue. This is not only an issue of Ethiopia. But I would say these are these three things: trained experts, old technology, and maybe a budget, a financial issue to enforce the whole thing. I think these are the main three challenges.
As you know, one of the challenges that Ethiopia is facing in the cybersecurity area is misinformation and, of course, also disinformation. What are some of key strategies that need to be employed in order to properly address the challenges?
The misinformation issue is, of course, in the times of internet and also especially apps like TikTok or whatever, where many people don't read newspapers anymore, they don't read books. All their information and news they get from TikTok, for example.
Right.
So TikTok is, of course, not a reliable source. There are many fake reels, information going around, but people believe it. So it should be a point of the government, first of all, to make people aware that not everything which is somehow online is the truth. So we need somehow to make the people aware to somehow analyze what truth is. This is not an easy task, of course, because it's a very subjective task, but we should see also stop misinformation with regulations. But the regulations shouldn't somehow limit free speech. So there's a tension between these two points, between free speech and regulation of misconceptions or false information, because they can somehow cause harm in the society. They can. It's also part of hybrid war. Foreign forces can use apps to somehow destabilize whole societies.
Right.
So this is not an easy task, of course, because we have the tension between free speech and a regulation and misinformation, which can even disturb or create havoc in a nation.
Yes.
So in Germany, for example, free speech is guaranteed through the constitution, but you can't say everything. There are many things that are somehow prohibited in the penalty code. So maybe Ethiopia should also see what is if I, for example, state that someone is a murderer, this is not allowed in German law because this is very crucial for his reputation. Yeah, so there are some kind of statements you can't do. This is not opinion. This is something else. This can be also a weapon to somehow harm the reputation of someone. Yeah, so this is also a balance act, of course. But we need to guarantee free speech. But on a certain level, we need to forbid things that can harm the reputation of certain individuals. And this is also not an easy task, I know this, but this is the tension we are seeing in this field.
Yes, obviously there is this dichotomy, if you will, between freedom of speech and also
this is a field of tension.
Exactly.
Yeah? Yes.
Yes. How can Ethiopia properly make use of AI in order to properly tackle such challenges, specifically when it comes to social media outlets?
Yeah, AI is of course useful for many things. In terms of misinformation, for example, AI is very, very, very good in detecting deep fakes, for example, videos which are created by AI. So a human being like you or me, we are not probably able even to see the difference between an AI-generated video
it's very hard.
or
it's getting hard.
This is almost impossible right now. But AI can detect it. AI can also detect false, fake accounts or bots who are writing comments on. So, for example, if you use Facebook, and you can use AI to create many comments who are going against a certain issue. But these people are not real. They are generated by AI, that's our social bots, so-called social bots. But AI is able to detect this. But we have also a field of tension here. AI can be used, but there should be a human oversight. We shouldn't give the responsibility to AI to detect certain misinformation. At the end of the day, there must be a human. It's about accountability and governance. Because if we continue like this, that we give up everything to AI, then there will be the day that we will be ruled by AI.
Yes.
Okay? So at the end of the day, even we can use AI as a tool to help us detecting certain issue, but there must be also a human being at the end who verifies it, who takes the legal accountability.
Yes.
So, but this is also a state of tension that we don't give up our accountability and governance to AI as human beings, then this can be also a danger.
As you know, Ethiopia is building massive and huge mega projects, including the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam and others, of course. In this regard, there are some concerns and, of course, potential risks when it comes to cybersecurity risks. How can Ethiopia properly address such challenges as potential cybersecurity risks against its mega projects like the GERD?
Yes, this is a very good question because cybersecurity is also part, or the area of cyber is also part of modern warfare. So actually we can protect our critical infrastructure with proper cybersecurity. In terms of the dam, for example, the dam is operated by computers and networks. So if a hacker is getting into the system, it can affect the electricity, it can affect the water distribution, it can affect many crucial things who can threaten the national sovereignty of Ethiopia and also threaten human lives, actually. So what is important if we deal with cybersecurity and mega projects like the dam or critical infrastructure is that we somehow, for example, separate these crucial networks from the internet. Yeah? They shouldn't be integrated. The control should be outside the internet. This is one thing, for example.
Should be offline?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is because the hackers can only get into systems when you're online.
Yes.
Yeah? So for critical infrastructures, it's very crucial to somehow operate these networks outside the internet, for example. Yeah, the controls. Then Also crucial is the human aspect. The engineers who are working at these sites, they need to be trained also properly in cybersecurity, because most mistakes or most attacks on networks, the vulnerabilities are not the software, they are the human beings who, for example, reveal passwords.
Right.
How do they reveal passwords? It's for example, people can use so-called social engineering. They write an email. They pretend to be someone from the government. And they say, yeah, please, I was in contact with this person. Could you please again give me this password or whatever? They gain trust through telephone. Also, they can use deepfake AI, make voice messages. So people think, okay, I can give him the password for this. So the most crucial issue in cybersecurity are the humans themselves. They need to be aware. So I think these are one of the main points I would say. Critical infrastructure, keep the systems offline, out of the internet, and also the people who work there need to be very aware about social engineering and everything. And so cybersecurity, as crucial, of course, the buildings need to be protected with fences, but also we have the virtual fences, and this is the cybersecurity who need to be also protecting the systems in those critical infrastructure mega projects like the dam. Yeah?
What are some of the best practices that Ethiopia can take away in order to enhance cyber resilience?
Yeah. We have the advantage that many regulations and policies are already written in Europe, in America, or whatever. For example, we have the EU AI Act in Europe, which is regulating the AI and also the issues of cybersecurity. So Ethiopian government can leapfrog certain steps. We can we can learn from those best practices, but cybersecurity without compliance, without regulations, has no sense. This is the main thing we need to remember if we want to govern cybersecurity in an effective way. It all goes down with written policies who governments need to follow. Of course, I think we have certain regulations for the critical infrastructure for the government. I think INSA is doing a good job already here. But in regards to private businesses, private companies, if we want to attract investors to Ethiopia, they want to be sure that also the regulations in terms of their, for example, business secrets are safe here. Otherwise, if they think that there are not sufficient regulations in terms of cybersecurity in the business private area, people will probably hesitate to invest here in Addis Ababa or wherever in Ethiopia. So it's also an issue of foreign investment to attract foreigners to have safe regulations in terms of private companies and cybersecurity and policies. And as I already mentioned, we can leapfrog certain steps, we can learn from others and implement those policies here. Not only the critical infrastructure or the government structure, but since economy and economic growth is a crucial issue for Ethiopia, and to bring investors also to Ethiopia, this needs to be also done. We need to have safe private cybersecurity laws for private companies. I think people with this global perspective, as you said, like me or others, can bring these best practices and a good feedback probably into the policy frameworking to Ethiopia, and this could be, I think, a good issue or a good help. But I think Ethiopia is already on a good way. But of course, you can get better anytime.
Yes.
This is
it should be continuous.
It's never enough.
Exactly.
You say in Germany, you say it's never enough.
And it should be continuous because
exactly
technology is always progressing, and you have to keep up with that.
This is also an issue. Technology, especially AI.
Yes.
This is the development. Most people, even in Europe, are not recognizing how their own jobs are threatened by AI. We are here in Ethiopia in a better position because the technology is not that developed that people need to be afraid to lose their jobs. But the time will come because the more we develop and the more technology comes into play, this is a paradox, the more people will be threatened maybe in certain areas or certain professions. And so the development, especially in AI and cybersecurity, is connected. You can't separate them anymore. Yeah?
Wow,
and AI governance is also crucial for proper governing of a nation. But I think Ethiopia has made also good steps already in installing the Artificial Intelligence Center. I think this is a very unique issue, even worldwide, what they are doing here. And also the issue of the FIDA ID is also the digital ID is also an issue where Ethiopia is even has implemented digital ID even before any European country.
Ethiopia was ahead, right?
Yeah, Ethiopia is actually ahead. I think there's no European country yet who made it mandatory to have an ID, and for example, for every financial transaction. This is, I think, unique worldwide. That you need to have your FIDA ID for every financial transaction. Yeah, this is good in certain things, I think. Maybe there are also issues where other people say, okay, maybe we can improve something. Yeah, but this is a unique issue. I researched it. I think there's no other country who's that advanced in this field.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Let's also talk about regional cooperation, Dr. Leul. So, as you know, Ethiopia is now advancing its cybersecurity agenda. How should regional countries cooperate when it comes to cybersecurity developments and also digital safety and security?
Yes. We have policy frameworks in Europe, for example, as I already mentioned, the EU AI Act, which is for the whole EU from many countries. So they need to cooperate because if you work or have economic connections with certain neighboring countries, regional countries, of course you need to have also secure networks, and you need somehow to cooperate with your neighboring countries or the countries you're dealing with, not only the neighbor. The internet is global,
yes.
So actually you need to have a global framework probably, because if you are doing business with, for example, Europe or China.
Distance is not a matter.
It's not a matter.
Yeah.
Or China, or I think there are strong relations between Ethiopia and China. Many things are going through the internet, through exchange. So it's not only in regional cybersecurity. I wouldn't say it's it's limited to a regional issue. It's a global issue, because we have a global economy, and therefore the frameworks in terms of cybersecurity, it should be also aligned with certain standards which are already in use in America and in Europe. As I said, if you have a good implementation and mandatory regulations for private companies in terms of cybersecurity, then people will rather come to Ethiopia and invest here. If everything is, if the private sector is not affected by those regulations, the economy won't have immense growth. Because the more everything is digitalized,
yes,
the more people want to be the system secure if they do business with you.
Exactly.
Yeah?
It's going to be a factor, I think.
Exactly.
Yes, I really enjoyed our discussion so far. Thank you so much for coming to our studio and for your insights. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. See you next time.
Yes, sir. See you next time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we come to the end of today's deep dive into Ethiopia's cybersecurity developments and agenda and the challenges, the way forward. A huge thank you to my guest today. And of course, many thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for watching us. Until next time, it's a goodbye from me.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes